Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA, from the Black Boule, in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere.
A lot of these racists are feeling emboldened because the Orange Man is in office. And because the Orange Man is the President of the United States, a lot of these racists are believing that they have the right to go out here and dehumanize people, and they're looking to antagonize black people into getting into back and forths with them. And a lot of us really don't know how to combat these type of individuals like the late Charlie Kirk. Now, individuals like the late Charlie Kirk and a MAGA rapper named Fergaccio Blow, what they're looking to do as they see that the Orange Man is in office is try to create platforms where they look to antagonize black people. And they hope to antagonize black people by making all sorts of racist rhetoric and trying to get people to get into a back and forth or a debate with them. And what a lot of people aren't seeing is that they're getting caught up in what I call a paradox trap. Now, I go in depth on what a paradox trap is in my book, Manginas. They look like men, but they act like ladies, because I was a victim of many of these paradox traps when I was younger. And now that I'm older, I understand what these racists are looking to do to black people. And what they want to do is try to take our power by getting us all into our emotions. And as we act emotionally as related to reacting to their racist statements, we wind up giving them power instead of empowering ourselves. Now, guys like this Fergaccio Blow and this Charlie Kirk, they basically have turned their racism into a grift, and in order for them to be able to make their money, what they want to do is go out here and use black people as a springboard to be able to continue participating in their con. And their con is all about looking to get power over black people as they look to, in the case of the late Charlie Kirk, talk about proving him wrong, not understanding that you're buying into a paradox trap the way I used to fall into a paradox trap when I was about 12 years old, when people would get upset when I said I didn't have a girlfriend. Now, when I was 12 years old, a lot of these guys, what they would do when I said I didn't have a girlfriend is go out here and say that I was gay, and then they would use this to get power over me. And as they, again, went into their shaming language, I didn't understand that this individual, what they were trying to do was get me into a paradox, trying to prove to them that their statement was wrong, when the way you beat an individual like this is to just not care about anything that they say. And this is what happens with a lot of black people. We go out here and care about what these white people want to say about us, and we get personal about looking to seek their validation and approval. And when we do that, what we do is give power to these white people, give them power over us, and allow for a paradox to be created where we wind up getting trapped and being controlled by their opinion of us. And that's something that we have to learn how to overcome as related to dealing with racism, because when it comes down to these racists, they want to use their words to control us, and because they want to use their words to control us, they need us to buy into their paradox and buy into their paradox so that they can feel a sense of power. That's why they go out here and look to antagonize black people with things like this Fergaccio Blow song, or guys like Charlie Kirk coming down to a campus talking about prove me wrong. And what we don't understand is that what these dumb individuals want to do is get us to go down to their level and then look to beat us with the experience of their ignorance. And that's something that I learned from the brother of logic and common sense, Akwesi 100, and also learned from my personal experience dealing with the passport bros in 2019, and also dealing with another racist who one of my viewers told me about as related to his whole statement, talking about black people could only write nonfiction books about being black and not about anything else. And again, what these individuals look to do in each of these cases is, again, look to try to bait a person into their situation, bait them into the situation, get you upset, get you in your feelings, and get you to try to prove them wrong. Again, giving away your power. And as you give away your power, what they look to do is get you into a back and forth with them. And then in the case of many of these racists, because what they know what that they want to do is, again, beat you with their stupidity, they look to come at you in large numbers in either their comment section, or they look to come at you again in large numbers in real life, or what they look to do is try to shout you down in an effort to use their emotion to make themselves appear to be the ones who are in the right. But the whole thing is, these people were never right in the first place. No, they were disingenuous from day one. And the reason why they start these type of arguments is due to their own insecurities about themselves. And because they're insecure and feel inadequate about themselves, they need to antagonize a black person in order to feel any semblance of any sort of intelligence. And when they get you to go down to their stupid level, what they do is look to beat you with the experience of their ignorance. And what happens to you as a black person is you give away your power as a black person, again, looking to either prove them wrong as related to their racist points, or looking to fight with them over their racist viewpoints. And that's where a lot of black people get it all wrong, and have gotten it all wrong since the civil rights movement as related to combating these individuals and their paradox traps. No, when it comes to these paradox traps, we foundational black Americans need to stay on our high level, because we are smarter than these racists who want to bring us down to their level. No, we need to stay on the high road and maintain our resolve. And when we maintain our resolve, we take the power away from these racists, take their power completely away. Because even though I don't like Tyler Perry, one thing that he did say that was right in one of his Medea movies is that it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. And the whole thing is, by giving these people no answer, you basically take away all their power. And when you take away their power, you empower yourself. The way you shut individuals down like this with their paradox traps is not to even respond to them at all. And it took me years to understand this about those guys who bullied me about not having a girlfriend. Again, the way you deal with these individuals is to understand your value as a black person. And again, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. And if you don't give any response to any of these racists as related to their talking points, such as with Charlie Kirk when he was alive, talking about prove me wrong, I've got nothing to prove to a white man whatsoever as related to their ignorant talking points. I have no reason to argue with a cretin and bring myself to their level. No, guys like this, again, want to make these racist statements in order to try to shout somebody down, making it look like they're intelligent. But again, a person who understands, again, that they only debate their intellectual equals, like the late John Henrik Clark used to say. I used to quote that from David Carroll. Again, only debates their intellectual equals, and all others they teach. And the lesson we can teach as foundational black Americans is not to bring ourselves down to the level of people who think that baiting us into having an argument so that they can have a sense of superiority is something that we can engage in. Because it's not my job to prove a racist wrong. It's not my job to prove to them my own humanity. This is something that Mad Black talks about. Again, my humanity is not up for debate. My human rights are not up for debate. And only a fool would go out here and look to debate and give a racist power. I mean, we're not in slavery anymore. And the whole thing is that the MAGA cult, again, these are people who are stuck in the past, don't even know their own history, don't even know about how those all-white towns ended up in bankruptcy due to all the corruption as related to things. They want to talk about history, again, like the late Charlie Kirk wanted to talk about black gangs. Gangs, again, created by the white CIA, who used black operatives to come into the Black Panthers and create these organizations to undermine the black community during the Nixon administration as part of COINTELPRO. Again, I have nothing to prove to anyone, again, but I can present facts, again, present facts to black people as related to things, and again, take our power by presenting the truth to people. And again, presenting the truth to black people, what I want to do in this video is teach you to, again, take your power, because again, while these racists feel emboldened, it really is them just becoming more and more insecure because their great white world is completely falling apart because they're seeing the rest of the world seeing that they don't need white supremacy anymore, and nobody's buying into their religion, and what they want to do is go out here and look to keep black people at the bottom in a codependent relationship where we give our power away to these white racists by going out here and again answering to them. But the way you deal with this again is by not answering to them, because that would make them even crazier than they are, because when they see that black people are not responding to their nonsense, guess what? They're going to even get crazier and escalate their behavior. And again, like Mad Black talked about in one of his videos, again, if they come, the only reason we combat them, again, physically, is that they come to our campus or of our schools or make threats to their schools. That's when you have a right to defend yourself. But when it comes to these individuals, understand they like to bait people with their bait language, and they like to bait black people, get us all upset, get us all in our emotions, because that's how they get control and get us caught up in a racial paradox where we wind up out on the end of being controlled in a codependent relationship. And the way we break that is by becoming interdependent enough to know, again, it's not what they call us, but what we answer to. And our strongest response to these type of racists is no response at all. Now, if you want to pick up some of my books on the SJS Direct imprint, you can find those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them at other online bookstores like Drafted Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. And when I talk about, again, having no response being the strongest response, again, this is how we take our power as people. And I want to get more black people to understand the way you deal with a racist like this is by not saying anything, because when you don't say anything, they can't get any reaction. And their whole thing is they want to get those reactions, get you riled up, because they know that how powerless they are, and because they know they're powerless, they want to get power over us. But the way we take our power is by showing them that their words mean nothing to us. That's all I have to say with this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available on Lulu. John Haynes at Death's Door. The man who rules the world takes on the Greek god of death in this action-packed, all-new John Haynes comic book. Get your copy of the first John Haynes comic at lulu.com today. Now available in paperback and e-readers. Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteemed series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteemed Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Now Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this spooktacular Spinsterella story. Pick up your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer in paperback and e-readers at Amazon.com and online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.